Alright, we're gonna hop straight into this one as the Shaco is just instantly banned away. A little bit of a target ban there for Crimson, but I'm Stu. I'm joined by Who tonight, and we'll be casting this banger. INS here being a little bit shaken up after the last game, losing in a somewhat favored matchup for them against Cease, but looking to potentially take that chip off of their shoulder with this game against Dab Nation. As we are seeing, a lot of target bans coming out. You can see the Shaco and the Diana, pretty common picks for Dab Nation, being taken away, as well as the Lulu being taken away, which really inhibits So Majestic's champion pool there in the bot lane.
And Krim is a fiend with that Shaco, and he's kind of a psycho. So I think getting rid of that is a necessity. No one wants to play against that. He can be 0-10 and he'll still be tower diving you. So it's a good ban.
Yeah, as you can see, the Nocturne ban taken out as well, putting respect onto Crimson, as Nocturne, especially on patch 11.13, which is the one that we're on, is just such an obnoxious pick, especially in the jungle role. You just get that Shrine Breaker, and it pretty much feels like no one can get away from you. You see the Callista ban coming out as well. Kerr throwing a little bit of respect out there for Vang, as he did have a very strong performance on that in the last game. As another one of Kerb's picks, the Xin Zhao, and Matt's favorite, will be picked away and most likely into that jungle role.
Yeah, the Callisto ban seems just a little bit reactionary. I'm not sure if they needed to ban that. Um, just I feel like last game, they had a little bit of a bot diff, uh, but they got that away anyway in case Bang wants to pick a comfort pick.
Yeah, interestingly enough, they see the Ezreal is open, and like I said, with the Ezreal
Yeah,
being open, Damnation is going to instantly snipe out of the way. Ezreal still being very strong on this current patch. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a jungle counter here could be picked up. They could additionally as well pick the support here if they wanted to place priority on any kind of support, but most likely we will see the jungle counter pick here for Crimson, as he is just taking his time figuring out what they want to do.
he could. I'm not sure if Krim plays. Oh, we got the Echo here. I was thinking maybe they might pick up the Rumble because the Rumble escaped the draft, but they do take the Echo. Could be jungle, could be mid.
Yeah, it could potentially be mid. The nice thing with Echo is that it does have that flex, and I believe Echo has a somewhat favorable matchup in Zinzai. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I do believe that they can potentially make that work, and it could also be flexed mid, but if the matchup is too bad, they could just shove it into Crimson and say, hey, you take this. As you'll see another staple KDL pick, the Kaisa being picked up.
Could be the Kai'Sa, not Kai'Sa Senna.
This
I'm
could
not
also
100%
be a
sure about this
Senna
bot lane.
mid.
Could be, yes.
Yeah, Taco has been known to play a lot of supports in mid lane and see how they worked out, notoriously playing Senna mid in one of their scrims. So we could potentially see it in there, but it is most likely going into that bot lane.
Yeah, I would expect So Majestic here to go the Nautilus. With a Kai'Sa, you do want that CC for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, Castellanos is just a historically strong
Yeah.
lane, very safe, and pretty hard to mess up if you are playing well enough. And with Vang playing the way he did last game, we could assume that potentially we could see another pop-off performance this game, as the last pick of Damnation for the first phase will be locked in here in a second. And it will be that Thresh. And this is a little bit of an ego pick for Rocket, because this matchup is kind of hard for Thresh. You do need to land your Flay onto the Nautilus hook pretty much perfectly, or otherwise you are just so squishy that Nautilus will be able to kind of burst you with that Kaisa. So he does need to play it well, but he does have the Ezreal in order to play a little bit more with the defensive lane, so I don't hate it. As we will be seeing the rest of the bands coming out, Damnation taking a little bit longer to decide what their fourth band is going to be.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going for what they were playing against last game. I know seen Bri be playing Gwen a little bit, so good to get that champ off the board since she is a bit busted right now. Obviously, the Mundo coming out on the opposite side. After his rework, we've seen how strong he's been in the top lane, and maybe not jungle as much, but also relatively strong in the jungle.
Yeah, it definitely is something to consider. Maybe they just don't want to play against that champ. Mundo does fare very well into champions that are team compositions that don't have a lot of CC. And Nautilus, while himself having a lot of CC, as for the side of INS, they really don't have too much currently. And I think that Vigar ban might just be kind of, we don't know what to ban, so we will just ban it. I mean, Vigar, interestingly enough, is a great matchup for Echo, so this pretty much signals that Echo is going to be going into the jungle here. So we will be seeing what kind of pick they're waiting on for this pick here for Dab Nation. They do have a lot of options. Whatever they pick here should give us some clues into where this Echo is going. It will be that Urgot. Nice little pick. Maybe a little bit of a Tyler 1 fan.
There have been some good champions escaping the ban phase here. We have Viego up. We do have It could be a good pick here for the mid lane.
Oh, we got Raven chat. Oh, they're hovering it. They want to do it. Dude, there is no way. No,
No,
Bri,
no,
please
no,
pick the
no, no.
Rammus.
No, no, no. Please do not pick the Rammus.
Oh, no. Bri's too scared. Unlucky. But they will pick up the side. You know, this as well is a pretty fine matchup. I'm not sure how practiced Bri is on Sion. But, you know, even with people like the boss have shown that it's pretty easy to just kind of run it down on Sion and still be useful later in the game. So it will be something he picks up. And we will see potentially an Orianna here. This is looking very similar to like a Survey Core draft from last year with the Orianna mid.
Survey Core draft. Oh, I see, I see.
And it will be the Orianna mid. And with the way that this team composition is looking, I actually quite like INS's composition, although we'll have to see the last pick here for Damnation. This is looking like it's going to be an Echo mid, which is kind of a struggle for him into Orianna. So we could see if they might force him into the jungle. And it will be that
the
Yone
Yone coming out. Yeah.
Okay, you know, there's some nice compositions for both of these teams. Just looking at it at a glance, I do much prefer Inus's composition. I feel like they have a much easier time in mid team fights, because all they have to do is really kind of zone away with Sion, force the enemy into bad positions, and really look to, you know, you can just look with Orianna ultimate and Nautilus ultimate. You have so much CC on the side of INS that really this Kai'Sa should be allowed to just free hit and really do some things. But on the side,
it's very similar to their last game team comp. I think I wouldn't say outdrafted. You know, DN's comp is also quite good, but they've chosen a pretty similar comp as last game, where they're quite strong in the team fights. Especially with the Orianna and the Kai'Sa being able to, she could have a very strong dive potential in the back line as well if she wanted to. I'm hoping Vang is able to play a little bit more aggressive this game. Last game, his kiting on Kai'Sa was a bit suspect. Maybe he wasn't as comfortable on the champion, but we'll see what he can do here.
Yep, and we will be going ahead and hopping into the Spectre delay, and we'll see you guys when it's over.
There's no time for redemption. Those flags you wave, will they hold up? Don't cry for your vengeance. It's right there to take. Oh, if you want it, the world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. I'll write your story down. Enter history. Pride and country. You could have everything. So bring home the glory alive. Go and rise for your nation. There's so much at stake. Will you show up? Oh, it's about damn time for a little salvation. Those flags you wave represent them. The world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. I'll write your story down. Enter history. Pride and country. You could have everything. So bring home the glory alive. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. So go and bring home the glory alive. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. Write your story down.
Alright, we will go ahead and be welcoming you guys back as we are loading back into the game. Whenever the League client decides that it wants to let us back into this wonderful event. As we will be going ahead and loading into the game.
Okay, there we are.
And there we are. As
Fine.
once again, we get to sit here this wonderful part of the League spectator client where it's just a black screen waiting for stuff to happen. You know, interestingly, I think some of the rune choices are a little bit interesting. You see Crimson here going for maybe a little bit of an ego rune with the Dark Harvest. You know, you tend to see a mix of like Dark Harvest and Electrocute. When Phase Rush is really good, you tend to saw that in the jungle as well, but with Phase Rush being nerfed, you don't really see it as much. And you see a lot more standard rune choices coming out from the side of INS. You can see very respectful Summer Dispels. We got 2 TPs on both sides. Heal and Ignite on both sides. It's pretty much a mirror matchup, so it'll be interesting to see how these game goes. As you can see, DN going straight to the 5-point. INS looking to do the same, but Nautilus looking to double up with Kaisa.
Yeah, I doubt either of these teams want to do an invade here. Both of them have decent invade compositions, so I'm sure they'll probably just stand in their 5-point and wait it out and go to lane.
Yeah, it's a really interesting mind game with Sion on your team in these early games because he could really be in any bush, and if you just walk into a bush, you could just get like a charged up Q and just lose the invade straight from there. So it's a little bit harder for DN to look to invade as you can see the dance coming out in the mid lane. I can respect that. As looks like these teams are just waiting for the game to start before they really do anything too crazy.
Dance and Crim with some mind games in the chat, offering kisses to INS.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, we do see some kisses offered. As looks like the top winner is not too interested in that, unfortunately enough for Crim, but hopefully we can help him on his quest for love this game. You see, interesting, you see Echo here opting to start for this top set. This will mean that both of these junglers opt for a different crab when the first crab does spawn. As Matt here gets a very nice swish, and Crim gets her, you know, around the same. As you can see, the fun of a melee into Orianna as she just bullies you back and forth.
Looks like the bot lane was trying to maybe go for a cheese or fake the leash as well at the same time, but nothing doing there.
An interesting play from Thresh there. You know, really as Thresh, you really want to hold your second stack of your support item until the second waves come, so that way you can force the level 2 faster. But it looks like he just wants to push the wave as Urgot here going in and get a nice little pick on top of Sion. Sion a little pressed, has to pop one of his corrupting taunts.
I do think it's nice that the 26 people in the chat right now will be able to watch a free Thresh coaching session this game. So, I mean, pay attention, boys.
It's my little gift to the world as I will try and point out a little bit of what Thresh does. Having a little bit of insight into what Thresh player should do myself. As you'll see, you know, nothing too crazy happening so far, apart from that play topside with Urgot and Sion. Games been going mostly even. You can see the CS developing about as much as you would expect it to. Some being dropped here and there, but nothing too crazy happening so far. The first scuttle is going to be spawning here in just under 20 seconds. You see both of these junglers. You can see both of them actually skipped 2 camps. This is interesting. Echo skipped the Wolves and Krugs, whereas Matt skipped his Raptors and Krugs. So it's a little interesting to see as... ooh. You can see Krem there creeping into the red side of Echo. Or excuse me, Matt creeping into the red side of Echo and potentially looking to steal away a camp.
I think that fake there by the bot lane of DN actually kind of made Matt think that Echo started bot side and would be contesting top side. Maybe that's why they both skipped camps, thinking they would meet each other at the scuttle to try to get it as fast as possible.
Yeah, it is important to note that the highest ranked players on both of these teams are the junglers, so they're having a little bit of a chess match back and forth as they both opt for different scuttles. Sion here being forced to back in the top lane, and we could see potentially what these junglers aim to do next. You see, you know, Yone here really having a little bit of a hard time into this Orianna. He is getting all of his CS, but he's getting severely poked down as Xin Zhao is here potentially looking for the gank. And he will be going over the wall. The flashes come out, and we could see... Oh no, the knockup used on the minion. That's so sad. The missing ping comes out. As, you know, trading flash for flash is kind of fine. As Zinzao, it's not the best. Obviously, you want to get the kill there, but it is still a preferable position to be in.
I don't think it'll be too bad. It looks like the Ezreal Thresh, it is pushing the bottom lane. So Zinzao could be able to gank there even without flash. But yeah, not the most ideal thing with just a little mistake there, knocking up the minion.
Yeah, and you can start to see some of the CS deficits form as Thresh there goes for a little bit of a lucky hook. Unfortunately, it was not lucky and was not able to pick it up. But really, we should be seeing this out of still Majestic. Yep, he's been looking for the hook. Unfortunately, does not land it, but does get the E out of Ezreal. That is a big cooldown in this bot lane matchup, but this is around 20 seconds or so before he's going to be able to get it again. So Nautilus will have his hook up, and he could potentially look for another by the time that Ezreal has his Arcane Shift back up.
Yeah, like as you said, the jungler is definitely a chess match as we see the Nautilus going in here, the Thresh flaying a little bit late.
And it's very good here from the side of INS. They're really getting a lot of damage out. The Ignite comes out from Thresh. A little bit of a panic Ignite as you did trade, just the heal from the side of INS for Flash and Heal and Ignite on the side of Damnation. So really good trade from them. As you can see, the ping coming out from Echo. He's looking to make this top gank happen as it is pushing into this Urgot. And Silent here going for an aggressive trade. Could potentially mean that this is his death sentence. As the flash does come out, does he make it out? Krim could potentially look to make it more. The double flash
No,
coming out.
not.
And that is first blood for the side of Damnation.
Yeah, the Sion being a bit too aggressive there without any vision in the top river. Decides to go for a trade and gets punished for it. Oh,
As we do
we
have,
do have a
a
pause.
pause coming out. We have an IRL thing 1 second. Unlucky as we'll be having the game paused up here, and we'll go ahead and switch the overlay just in case.
Yeah, right. As I was saying right before the bottom lane fight, the bottom lane is also a little bit of a chess match. We see both these. It's pretty much just going to be both these supports trying to find out the AD carry misstepping. Obviously, the Nautilus has a bit easier engage with his ult, but it's definitely going to be a battle of Majestic and Rocket here.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to pick your brain on this Thresh versus Nautilus matchup. Ideally, with these engaged champions in the bot lane, it's pretty much mostly Thresh, Nautilus, and Leona. Like, these champions all play together and all sort of serve the same role in team compositions where they force the engage and they allow fights to happen. But in the bot lane up against each other, they all have this kind of like rock, paper, scissors kind of matchup. Where,
Yeah, I agree.
Leona beats Nautilus and then Nautilus can beat Thresh, but if Thresh is good, then he can beat both of them, and it's very hard to kind of figure out how this bot lane can go. So it is very, player dependent on these picks to see how this bot lane will go.
Yeah, Thresh is a bit more mixed of a kit, especially with how important his W is in the lane, while Not has an easier kind of hard engage. So I'm definitely looking to see if Majestic and Vang try to go for a play once they're level 6. But, like you said, if the Thresh is able to outplay, save the Ezreal with his Lantern, or land a hook through a wall on Kai'Sa, those are definitely areas where he can kind of turn this lane around.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately for that Ezreal, he did end up having to use all of his sums. And
Oh my
he
goodness.
had that banger of a mid gank. I think we did catch that. We maybe have got it a little bit too high in HD, but it's fine. That one goes in the highlight reel for sure. As, Ezreal still being up in CS, he doesn't have his sums, but he is Ezreal. He does just have that Arcane Shift on a cooldown, so it is easy for him to kind of escape these engages and play a little bit more safely. Whereas Kai'Sa,
Yeah, I'm sure the Nautilus will definitely be looking to try to abuse it as soon as his E is down. Unfortunately, I don't think Kai'Sa would be able to do too much unless they get a really, really good pick, and I don't think at least so far the way the lane's going, the Ezreal would be putting himself in that kind of position. I do think we caught this in a mid TP. This pause.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was looking to see where that TP was going,
It looks
and
like it's going in the
it's
mid
going in the
lane.
mid lane. Yeah, it will be Taco just TPing back to the mid lane to catch back up in the CS.
It'll be interesting to see what happens as soon as this game unpause if we see if the Yone tries to fight this.
I mean, it is definitely a potential. Once you hit this level 6 mark, this is where Yone gains a lot of agency in this matchup against Orianna. Before, he just kind of has to farm and take the poke and just play really safely. But once he hits this level 6 and he gets his first back, he has the potential to just combo with his Q and his R and his E to really make something happen in this fight in the mid lane. So it will be interesting to see how it plays out. Sion going down one death already in the top lane, doing a little bit of the boss impression. Maybe might have typed the we shilling in chat afterwards, but it will be interesting to see as Sion, does have that infinite scaling on his W. And
What is this pause over anyway? What's going on?
I believe something happened to Crimson and he had to
Oh.
pause. But yeah, we are just currently in a pause right now as they are waiting for the players to get back. Looks like the R's are coming out. We should be coming soon.
For the question in the chat, yeah, there is a game right now. We have a pause here. Crimson seems to have been stuck at Six Flags or something similar like that.
Six Flags
Oh,
grabbing
Six
another
Flags.
member.
Grabbing another member. Looks like they are ready potentially.
Yeah, the R's came out a little while ago. I'm not sure what the delay is for, but I assume it's the spectator client just trying to keep us a little bit further back. There we go. The game has been unpaused. We'll go ahead and be walking right
No
back
warning,
into this one.
unpausing us.
Yeah.
It does look like nothing happened in the mid lane. The Yone obviously has not reset yet, so he will go do that now and get his items.
Yeah, you can see a lot of the first items coming out for these champions as it freezes on me. Hello? Game? There we go.
Yeah.
That was a little interesting, but the weak client does what it wants to do, I suppose, as Matt is showing here in the mid lane. Doesn't look like too much will happen from it.
Interesting, the Yone did decide to stay instead of backing. He was halfway through his recall, decided to cancel. Might want to push this wave out perhaps, and then back on the next. Or maybe he's looking for Crimson to gank. Although Xin Zhao is hovering. He is on a ward right now. I don't think he sees that, but he was on a ward.
Yeah, I mean, Xin Zhao here really hovering. He doesn't have anywhere to be, so he's not losing out on too much, but unfortunately for him, he was spotted, and it doesn't mean that Yone is not going to die.
Yeah, the red side has decent vision here. They have the bush right outside the red buff warded and the bush next to the mid lane. So they have a decent kind of idea where Crimson's going to be. They should know he's at his red buff and clearing the bot side jungle.
Yeah, you can see both of these teams really trying to move forward for vision and get vision on these junglers. This is... some people think that KDL is just straight solo queue. You take 5 solo queue players and place them against each other, but when you play in 5s like these, you really start to understand like a different sort of game being developed with the vision and trying to track in the enemy junglers and only going for plays when it's really good. As you can see here, Crimson coming in the bot lane. The hook goes out, unfortunately misses on all of them. Majestic has flash, she will go ahead and flash, gets flashed back into it as she is most surely dead, and Crimson picks up the kill.
Yeah, great gank there. Like I said earlier, being able to use the Thresh W to effect. As we see Bry potentially dying about, I think he should, top, he should be fine, I believe. No, he will go down to the Urgot ultimate. That is 2 deaths going over to Bry.
Yeah, and tragic enough for him, he is going to sit here and get, some of the wave before he gets shoved into his tower, so he won't lose a whole of a lot. But he does feed another kill over to that Urgot, and Urgot is starting to look like a little bit of a problem up in the top lane, as Echo as well, picking up 2 kills, sitting on the 150 gold bounty. Is looking a little problematic for INS, and they really need to figure out an answer to these 2 picks.
Yeah, it's nothing too tragic they can't come back from, but as you can see, there's gold leads pretty much in every lane now. Maybe besides mid. We have a CS discrepancy and an assist on the Ezreal right now.
Oh,
Majestic going in, landing a max range and Nautilus hook, and this will be a kill. 100% on the Thresh. Will they be able to get the Ezreal though?
Oh,
The Thresh surviving.
Okay, they need to just pick one.
Oh,
Oh,
my
no.
Go down.
Oh,
no.
no.
Oh,
Just a
no.
straight tragedy from INS as they greeted for both of these kills, and because of it, they lose both of their lives for it instead.
You know what they say, don't slap the pig.
I
don't wanna hear it.
No, yeah.
I can't believe what just happened. They were both dead to rights, but the Thresh lives with, I believe, his W shield. He lives with his W
Yeah,
shield.
he got his W shield, and then he had around like 50, 100 HP. And unfortunately for INS, they just got too greedy. They thought, okay, we can get both of these players, when really, Thresh just needs his cooldowns, and he has a lot of burst damage with that hook and that play. And it can be very surprising, especially for Vang. I think he died with the heal up as well. He just wasn't expecting the burst. And,
The Ezreal coming in was very good. It chunked down Kai'Sa to half HP. It turned that fight around. That was a game losing decision there.
Okay, as we see the Yone ult coming out, he does pick up two. Oh, Taco is just straight deleted as Yone flashes out. And then he goes back in, and Crimson says, you know what? You're not having this, as he's looking forward. He's going to get the kill on Matt, potentially. He does pick it up. And that is tragic for Matt. When you see the enemy jungler take the dragon and bot side, you instantly go up for the Herald. But Echo there being able to move so quickly and having Yone as well means that they're going to get both the dragon and the Herald. And this is starting to be signs of disaster here for INS.
Yeah, one bad play after another, or potentially maybe even unlucky plays after another. The timing there with the jungler able to come to the Herald just did not work in INS's favor, and they lose the dragon and the Herald. This will be potentially, we're looking at a 5,000 gold lead here coming up as soon as the Herald is used.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, INS really needs to start focusing up. They need to start pulling their resources into one of these lanes to really pull them ahead and bring them back to even. Because they are failing across the board currently.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for the Xin to decide what lanes to gank here. The bot lane is looking like they're pushing. I do believe they should probably let this push in and maybe let Xin look for a gank. But the vision of red side is able to spot him out wherever he goes at the moment. So there's no fear for them.
Yeah, they just see completely where Matt is all the time. And it is tragic for the side of INS because they really need Matt to come in and do some jungle interference on these lanes. And he's not really able to. You know, it is important to note with this composition that INS has procured is that, you know, even if they are down like 4 or 5k gold, it can still be fine for them in team fights if they stack their ultimates correctly. You know, Scion ultimate into Orianna ultimate into Nautilus ultimate just means that there is so much CC on the side of INS that sure, you can be 5k gold up, but it doesn't matter if you're not allowed to auto once. And it can be,
This could be a dive here. If he does not, he has to leave. He has to leave. He can't stay in there.
He's greeding a little bit. Oh, this is some briber greed.
Oh no, and he doesn't even need the echo. He just uses the vision to land the ultimate.
Oh, Urgot here could potentially die or have to use his flash. Nope, goes into the bush and is perfectly fine. That is so sad for Sion.
We're looking at 8 kills to 0 now, 16,000 to 20,000 gold. The Xin map might be looking for a gank, but once again, he spotted on vision in that bot river bush. Looks like he will just take the enemy jungle camps and try to trade for that.
Looks like he's not even going for that. He's looking to go for that bot gank, but
going
it's
back
warded out. He's going to get spotted as Ezreal and Thresh are way too late to notice. The TP comes out. TPs for both sides coming out. As the box does nice job zoning. Ezreal ult has huge effect. Yone going in. You see in the backline, Sion here is just going to kill this
TPs.
Thresh. Oh my god, I can't wait for my bot lane 2v2 as this fight is going absolutely crazy. You can see Taco here being one of the last people alive. As Sion is still alive in the backline, and he's going, and they want to go for Ezreal as well. Ezreal arcade shifts away, and that is going to be the end of the fight. As, oh my god, so many members of INS, so low HP. But with so many resources of dedicated bot lane, I think this comes out as INS favored.
Yeah, they ended up taking 3 kills down to 2, so they did come up a bit ahead there. The Echo was able to push the top lane in, but it doesn't crash the wave. It was quite a hard fight to track. We had 4 TPs. Some of them were a little bit delayed coming in the bottom lane. I feel like that should have definitely gone in DN's favor, but it does look like INS came out a little bit ahead.
Yeah, you know, INS coming out a little bit ahead. Unfortunately, they didn't get any kills on any of the members with bounties, so they weren't able to get that extra gold. But they were able to pick up 3 kills and stop the perfect game from happening, which is good for them. And once you get those 3 kills, I mean, you traded 3 for 2, if I remember correctly, which is always a fine trade.
3 for 2.
Trading ahead or trading even when you're behind is always good for you. As you see, the dragon is spawning here in 45 seconds, and you see some preliminary vision being placed down as Ezreal and Thresh do recall. Ezreal picking up that Divine Thunder. Such a huge buy for him in this matchup, as Kaisa is still not sitting on her first item. As Matt here could potentially get caught out, as they are looking to try and invade and take some vision.
Yeah, we'll see how they react to this dragon. I'm assuming they probably select to kind of give this up and maybe split, but all 5 members are dragon side. Looks like actually Stein will be heading top, so they probably will just give this up, which is a smart thing to do.
Yeah, and so much Jessica's done a great job of placing a ward into Echo's jungle and trying to figure out where he is and tracking him. And that really has allowed them to kind of figure out what's going on. As Thresh does hook the Xin Zhao, the Ezreal ultimate comes out, just barely nicks him. As the dragon will be tagged up as well. And Dab Nation here really looking to start with this dragon. INS shouldn't contest as Kaisa is just looking to get a reset here. As Yone goes in on this Orianna, getting a nice little chunk as fights are happening in the top and the mid lane. Bri here potentially dead again, flashes early. Oh, the Yone, the fate sealed, says Orianna, your fate is sealed as she does pass away. And we will see that Echo here is just picking up this dragon. Things go on the side of Dab Nation after that.
Is Matt going for a 50-50 potentially?
Oh.
He is, and he does not get the dragon.
Unfortunate for him,
He
you know,
goes down.
I always respect Matt for being a psychopath and always going for those flash over the walls, smite the dragon type of plays. But unfortunately for him, it didn't work out this time. As Dab Nation here look, you know, firmly in control of the game after that. The bot play went a little bit awry.
Yeah, we have a pretty massive gold lead coming in here now, and a complete vision control for Dab Nation. Could maybe even be looking for a dive here on the Kai'Sa, but the knot is coming. Should be fine.
Yeah, and importantly enough, you can see that a lot of the gold for Dab Nation is on this top and jungle pick. You can see a lot of them up 2k gold on their lane counterparts. And you see, you know, in the mid and bot lane, it's just around 1k gold for both of those players, so it's a little bit more even. But the jungle here, Crimson really putting on a cam impression, showing a nice Echo gameplay this game, as we will see, you know, Dab Nation, you know, the ball is firmly in their court. But as we saw with that bot lane play, it is definitely not impossible for INS to make something happen with their ultimates and with the way they've been playing these team fights. It's possible for them to make something happen, but they really need to start the ball rolling now in order to catch up.
Yeah, I also just noticed in that previous 4-man TP 2v2 bot, we did see that it actually was a Scion that got both, or Scion got 2 kills and Orianna ended up getting 1, which is less than ideal. They're definitely looking to get those kills on Orianna and Kai'Sa. And then 2 kills onto the onto the Scion that's already incredibly behind and about to get his tier 2 tower taken. As we see Taco in the fights in the bottom lane too, it looks like Taco killed the Orianna. And the bot lane will go down as well, as a nice hook coming out for Thresh.
Nice, and you know, we did see, you know, Rao again just using that fate sealed in the mid lane, just absolutely seals the fate of Orianna and sentences her to death, as Echo here is just having so much pressure on the map. You know, Matt here is having a really hard time as Echo is just crip walking into this jungle, and it's impossible for him to even get any camps.
Yeah, the Xin Zhao is not able to do anything, and as we saw in the mid lane, Taco going down, he honestly cannot even probably stay under tower at this point. The Yone just ease in, R's in, and is able to kill him in just a few hits with the Kraken and finishing his boots. Oh, I didn't even know Orianna does not even have her first item yet, having a mix of Lost Chapter, Blasting Wand, and Zanya's.
Yeah, she's got the arm guard there to help protect her against Yone, but it might be too little too late as the Stridebreaker comes out. Bri here getting a little bit chunked, but does stay well, as, you know, Matt potentially looked to go on the Urgot there, but Thresh having a very nice roam, protecting his Urgot and making sure that he's not going to get caught out by Matt. You see Echo here, you know, looking a little bit of a delay. That was a little awkward, but starting this Rift Herald should be able to get this no contest, and with that, that means that they are going to have Prio over this dragon if he wants to hold it for that long, as they are pinging. The hook does come out, it picks up the Nautilus, and he has no flash. He is most certainly dead here, as they will let the Rift Herald reset, unfortunately. As the little Lantern emote comes out, I can respect that.
A little bit of emotes before too. I'm not sure if Majestic thought there was only one person in that bush. Turns out there was 3.
Could have accepted her fate, as she did flash to the Thresh emote before she died, so,
Yeah.
you know, it could have just been, oh, I'm dead, and just accepted it. So, I can respect a good emote game in these KDL matches, as, you know, in my opinion, they're a little bit underutilized, as Matt here just wants his red buff, and the enemy team is just bullying him to no end, as the hook does go massively wide, and it looks like Matt was able to pick it up, but will he lose his life for it, as the rest of Dab Nation are coming down to collapse?
Yeah, he may lose his game, but I'm sure Matt does not want to lose the red buff at the very least. He doesn't want to get egoed that hard. It's crazy to think this game is only 18 minutes and 50 seconds in, and DN has 16 kills, 36k up to 26k. I'm not sure there's anything really that INS could do here. They have to maybe 50-50 on the Baron once it comes up.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few avenues for INS to win this game, but they are very slim. They need to either, like, use all of their ultimates perfectly and play a team fight to well above their level, or they kind of give the enemy soul to say, okay, you can have soul, we're gonna wait it out, and then they try and go for Elder. And then if you snipe Elder and you manage to win the fight afterwards, that can allow you to potentially get Baron, or just have the pressure on the map to get the gold advantage back to a more even level. But in these next couple minutes, it's not looking very likely for INS to be able to make anything happen.
Yeah, Dab Nation is doing exactly what they need to do with this type of lead. They're, as you can see, Thresh going in, pushing Vision out. No one has really gotten caught out. The only 3 kills were in that little kind of fiesta down in the bot lane with 4 TPs. Aside from that, they've played an almost perfect game. No one has touched the towers, and there's only 3 deaths.
Yeah, as you see the hook coming out, Thresh here doing a good job. Unfortunately, his team is not there to follow up as Varga's just going to do the dragon. Just all at the junglers, it doesn't mean that no steal is possible. As you can see, you know, the rest of Dab Nation here just pushing forward, looking to push their vision forward, pressure the enemy team. As INS really caught here on the back foot, having to play reactively to so many options and not having really the options to play that in a proactive manner. As you see the Rift Herald coming out, they're going to look for a mid push here. It's a little bit interesting, you know, they are pretty much only going to get this tower, I would assume. As the rest of INS is not really moving to collapse, so they could potentially get more. As the hook goes a little bit wide. And you see that they are just going to give up that tower. Unfortunately enough for them, they still do have the rest of this as they are pinging this bot tower. Sion here going to catch all of them out and make sure that they're not going to do anything too crazy. Urgot does go forward.
A little bit too much in.
This is a little bit of an option for the team of INS to pick up a kill. Unfortunately for them, Thresh is there, has the locket, has the consecration, which means that he is going to live. Oh my god, wow, they're living with a sliver of HP. A little bit of an overstep for Dab Nation, but unfortunately enough for INS, not punished.
We will see them reset here. Probably just going to go take Baron, split, and then end the game through just taking the inhibs. That's probably what's just going to be happening here. I'm not sure if INS will want to contest that at all. They might send Zins out and there to try to steal like he attempted to do earlier with his flash. But I think even 1 death at this point would just be the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you get 1 death, then they could just send all 5 down mid and try and make something happen. Matt catches Krim out here in the jungle, but ultimately for Matt, okay, he gets the ultimate out. This is the potential. Krim uses flash. The killer instinct is used. Matt is on top of Krim. They're using everything. They pick him up. Okay, this is the start of something that they can do. Now, as long as they don't throw in this fight, as Yone is going forward, we don't see the fate sealed yet. He's looking to potentially do damage. As the Thresh picks up the blue buff. A little bit of an interesting choice, but I guess as long as you're stealing it away. And what this does, importantly enough for INS, is it gives you that gold on that kill. It puts a kill on Crimson's KDA, so that's already a win in your book. And then it stalls the Baron for a little bit longer. It buys them more time, and it gives them, you know, the potential to live the dream. As the copium is in full force, as Yone here is just like going on top of Sion. Yeah. Oh no, the fate sealed comes out. Bri is almost certainly dead, and he will be. See, Urgot here. Ooh, okay, the flash E and to the ultimate does mean that Orianna is just unfortunately dead, and this could just mean that all 5 members of Dab Nation are just gonna run towards this Baron, take this free priority, and pick up the Baron for free.
Yeah, this should be the game here. I don't see any way they can come back into this game, which is a bit sad. They did get a good pick onto the Echo, but then the Sion ended up getting picked in the top lane. A little bit unfortunate, but we'll see what they decide to do with this Baron once they pick it up.
Yeah, and they do manage to pick it up, and it looks like the recalls are not being channeled, so they're going to run it down into potentially this mid lane as Thresh using his lantern for macro. Love it when Threshes do this, as they are going to push in this top tower. Urgot here should be able to take this relatively no problem, as Matt here going in for a little bit of a bait, as Sion does pick up. The Thresh hook does land onto Matt, and he just gets deleted before he can even use anything. Sion here just getting CC locked, not able to move. How does it feel? As Crimson here going a little bit too far forward, forced to use the replay. As you can see, the side of Dab Nation here still having 5 members, still pushing in.
Taking a lot of damage, might die here.
God. As Ezreal uses the arcane shift forward and is not punished, able to pick up that kill with Orianna, and this almost certainly spells game for INS. You can see Yone going in, using his E to get a lot of extra range. As Ezreal is forced to flash, we can see that the Baron minions are pouring in. The side of INS really needing that HP, not able to really touch the wave. As the Thresh hook lands, they could potentially CC lock Sion. Sion is good for now. It looks like they have potentially stopped. Oh no, as the fate sealed is used on the Vang and he flashes into it. The Urgon ultimate combination. Nautilus is feared, and that will mean that he does go down.
Nautilus.
Oh no, as Sion goes in as well.
Oh, huge! Way too close to the sun. And just like Icarus, he gets shot down.
As Yone, a little bit of a fail flash there, and this does mean that INS are still in this game. They are able to clear the wave. And that means they're in this game for just a little bit longer. That's not good for Dab Nation. You know, they handed over a lot of shutdowns. This is the kind of thing where, sure, they don't lose the game off of this kind of play, but if they keep throwing plays like that a little bit more, then it is the potential, certainly, for INS to come back into this as Crimson using, you know, a little bit of jungle HP regeneration is going to hop on this dragon. Unfortunately for INS, Matt is still dead for another 5 seconds and won't be able to really come to it. Echo will almost certainly just delete this dragon. But an important thing for them is that with this taken, that does mean that Dab Nation have Infernal Soul, which is very bad for them. However, that does mean the Elder Dragon is coming in 5 minutes. So if they can by some miracle live for another 5 minutes and steal the Elder Dragon, they do have the potential to get back into this game.
Yeah, even with the Elder, it will be a bit hard just because they don't have a single tower. Trying to, you know, at this point, maybe if they had pushed up to the inhib, they could have definitely ended the game off one team fight. But with all the towers up, it'd be extremely difficult. We're looking at potentially needing 2 Elder Drakes here to turn the game around. That would be the only scenario.
Yeah.
But it could be, if DN decides to, you know, maybe throw a few more fights, it could definitely turn in the favor of INS. They definitely have a team in the Kai'Sa and the Orianna that can flip fights just with their abilities.
Yeah, I mean, the ball is still firmly in Dab Nation's court, and all they really have to do is just not fumble it, as they are going to triple inhib them. They have Baron spawning in another 3 minutes. So if they wanted to play it extremely safe, they could just wait for that, but they are up, what is this, 13k gold as the Sion ultimate comes out. This is really not what you want to do as INS. You don't want to force the engage as Orianna ultimate comes out. Yone here is just absolutely deleted as the Sion gets channeled into the Urgot, and they're all feared. Huge damage coming out from the Urgot, but he does go down as well, and that will be a 4 versus 3 for the side of INS, as Dab Nation is just looking for the next, they're peeking the next. I don't care. I don't care that you killed my top lane. We're just gonna hit the Nexus, as it looks like they're gonna back off of that. It's Crimson here is just hitting Orianna for no real reason.
He could just eat the Nexus. I think they can end here.
Yeah, they can for sure just end. They're forcing the end. Oh, it looks
they won't end.
Oh no, Dab Nation here trolling really hard. As Ezreal gets taken out, we could potentially see Crimson as well. Willow is walking towards him. So majestic. Oh, okay, Echo flashes. This is bad for Dab Nation. You're throwing so many of these fights. Like, sure, you get the inhib, but how many times are you going to die at the feet of their Nexus before they could potentially come back?
Crimson is claiming he's lagging. I'm not sure if that's in-game lag or mental lag, but at the moment...
oh no, the TP!
The TP coming in!
The double TP! Oh no, they're just going to try and end as they are going in. Nado was just deleted. Oh my god, Orianna
this should be the game
so
here. Yeah, the Urgot will end the game.
Okay, and a nice little backdoor from Urgot and Yone will mean that Dab Nation secure this game of INS.
That got definitely, I mean, a little bit interesting. I had hoped maybe INS would be able to turn around, give us a comeback, but Dab Nation played a really good game, maybe up until the last 5-10 minutes of the game. They pushed vision, they secured the objectives, and they shut INS out.
Yeah, I mean, certainly a strong showing from Dab Nation. They pretty much had an almost perfect game until that bot lane play, and then even then, from that point, they didn't really lose anyone outside of that. So apart from the, you know, those Nexus fights where maybe they played a little bit too disrespectfully, but they did end up securing the win in the end, and that does mean that they are your winners for today. Unfortunately, INS are again your losers, and we'll be go ahead and pulling them in for an interview. Where the hell are they? I gotta pull them in here. This is so far. How does Crim do this?
Oh shit! Shit! Oh.
There we are.
Alright, unfortunately for you guys, you did have an O2 showing today. You know, not exactly what you wanted to happen today, but how did you guys feel coming into this Dab Nation matchup? Did you feel like it was going to be easier than your last game? Did the last game's performance affect how you played this game? How did it end up happening?
We knew like this would be a tougher opponent for sure, and it was like, I don't know, it was definitely a tougher opponent, and it was kind of hard to think of a draft and a comp for bans against them on the fly after our game because we weren't kind of prepared. But we still kind of are improving, and I definitely see that. I think our team sees that, and we're just still growing, and we're just improving as we go.
Yeah, I think almost everyone can see the instant improvement in your team compared to like the first couple games you played in the scrims to now. We do have a question from Rave in the chat. He says, "Bri, why didn't you play Rammus? Can you
Dude,
give us any insight on that?"
dude, I don't play that champion, bro. Like, there's no way. Hey, and Taco said don't ego pick. So like, how am I gonna like go against his word and ego pick if I don't know how to play the champ?
Oh man, I thought for sure that you were gonna pick the Rammus when you hovered it, but unfortunately we didn't see it come out. Rave might be crying himself to sleep tonight, but that's all right. As it
Love him. Shout out to Rave.
as it goes forward, though, you guys only have a few matches left. I think we have 3 matches left for you guys. How do you guys feel about the remainder of your matches? Do you feel like you can clutch up some wins in those, or what do you feel is gonna happen?
We take
I definitely,
those.
yeah, I believe so.
JJT for sure.
Whoa, whoa,
We're
whoa,
taking it
For
straight to
sure.
no
Wait a minute.
Jamie and JJT for sure.
You mean
Instant
every
wins.
game is winnable?
True.
We're
True.
gonna win
Every game is winnable for sure.
Yeah.
I do have a question for the bot lane though, Willow and Vang. So there was a 2v2 going on between, the not.
I don't know. It's okay. I really don't want to talk
No?
about it. It's really okay,
No?
dude.
Okay,
No,
that's.
the communication.
Yo, I wanna see
Not
it,
gonna
yo.
lie. Dude, I think I was lagging during that
Ah.
part, dude.
No,
I
can we
have
talk
no
about- we-
idea.
We can talk about the first game instead. The first game, the nice Nautilus Kalista duo, you guys played very well, I thought. Up
I
until you
hope so.
lost, I thought the Nautilus was the MVP of that game. Up until you
Oh,
lost,
really?
but
Wait,
uh,
actually?
yeah, you played really well. I think Kalista
Oh,
was also pretty good in that lane. It's kind of sad that it turned out to be a loss, but we just forget
Alright.
about this game. This game didn't happen. That 2v2 didn't happen.
That draft
I
was
agree.
so good for me too. Happens.
Yeah, it's a tragic game. It's all right. You guys are
Yeah,
showing
shout
a
out to
lot
Bry's
of.
drafts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bri, did you stay up to 4 a.m. to that draft?
Yeah,
just
did
a
you
little
say
curious.
Yeah,
that?
I was a little about 5 a.m.
Uh,
considering yeah.
That's all right. Sometimes you do have to hit those late nighters to pick up those drafts in the KDL.
Yeah,
Unfortunately for you guys, still haven't picked up that first one yet, but I do have faith in you guys going forward. Next week I will be wearing the INS flag. You guys will pick up those wins, especially against GME. I think Jay might have an unfortunate game that game, and we'll see you guys picking up a win.
I'm gonna ruin him.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't
What?
think
Look
Stu's
at the
cheering for
confidence
us.
on my
Yeah.
team. Like,
Huh?
oh,
No, I don't think Stu's cheering for us. I think he's giving false confidence.
Oh.
Come on, Stu.
That's not true. Dude, look
That's
at my
true.
name. I'm a Bryman fan. I always cheer for Bry.
Yeah.
and
gotta
you're
cheer
rooting
for
for
him.
Jay too.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, wait. Why is Jay?
Yes,
Why is Jay
look-
in the Bryman folder in
Yeah,
your
like,
league
get
line?
the-
Hold up.
get
What's
him out of
with
there,
that?
man.
Yo,
What's
he's
with that
also a
one?
Bryman. What do you mean? He's like a secondary
Oh.
Bryman.
Oh,
Just some.
he's unfaithful.
Dude, Bry keeps me on red all the time. He doesn't talk to me that
Yeah.
much. It's fine. But
Sorry, I'm loyal
For
to
a
my
reason.
man's. Like,
But apart from that, an unfortunate showing today for you guys. But I do have faith for you guys in the next couple weeks, and good luck in your next couple matches. And we hope to see you guys next week.
thank you.
Yes,
Yo, now get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to
Shoot.
move you out. Yeah. Time to move Dab Nation in now.
And that was INS. We're gonna be go ahead and pulling in Dab Nation, the winners for today. As we see, we got Crimson in here. A little Suster has joined the comms as
Yo, some little sussy
Oh,
bakas
okay.
in here.
as you know, we did have some sus moments in chat. I think I did want to point out that Crimson, apparently you were lagging, but there seems to be
Yeah,
a
I
little bit
was.
of discourse about that. Do you
No,
want to clear
no,
that
no,
up?
no, no.
He wasn't. He's lying.
I was lagging because someone, how we paused. Someone actually knocked on my door and said, "Hey, is that Crimson from the KDL? Like, I'm your biggest fan." And like, I had to take some photos.
The ego
and,
on
like,
this guy.
I don't know. I had to take some photos, and they were like, "Yeah, I saw your Varus Penta." And I'm like, "Oh my god."
Oh, the Varus Penta. That's
Yeah,
a
like
throwback.
I hardly get recognized, for that. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, between like the fan and Mark Henry, I'd still choose Mark Henry, but like I'm glad that I chose my teammates.
This guy's ego.
And like the game was like really, really good. I thought it was really controlled until like I lagged, and then my teammates like
Ready?
yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
We proceeded to
but-
forfun it. That's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, I was crying. I can't move. Because like the second Taco starts moving up to me, like I tried auto attacking him, but Canadian 400 MS is just super unlucky.
Yeah, unlucky.
Yeah.
Speaking of being chosen, I think you did get chosen for the MVP vote for this game.
Oh.
So, What do you have to say to your fans besides the one that came to your door?
Shout out to people who come to my door. Shout out to the barista at Starbucks who got me to, give her an autograph because of KDL. Yeah, that's me. Thanks for voting me. I truth be told don't think I played MVP if I'm gonna be honest. I think that honestly it was probably like either our mid laner. Honestly, everyone played really, really well. I don't think that there's like one specific player because like we had really good comms, we had really good rotations. I think that if we played this way against some of the teams that we lost to, then those games would have been different. But we learned a lot from those games, and we're just applying our mental improvements to our rest of the games. So this game is definitely one for the chapter books. I guess it's definitely a big up for us.
Yeah, and I wanted to probe your mind about, some of the opponents you're coming up against, this week and the next. You still have GME and you still have the Akatsuki to overtake. How do you feel you're going to fare up against those teams? Do you feel like it'll be a similar showing to today, or do you think it'll be a little bit
Pretty
harder?
sure Akatsuki is going to be an easy win. GME is probably going to be the hardest team we play against, and then I
Yeah.
don't remember who else we're playing against. They don't really matter.
Atsuki, it should be an okay team, I guess. Not really crazy, I don't know. But like GME, they just have some little, I don't know, some little sussy wussies, and so it's like really kind of,
Yeah, I can
really
understand,
kind of.
the little sus alarm going off, but it's all right. I do wish you guys the best of luck in the rest of your games. I think you have GME to play this week. That's your other game, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's our only other game.
Well, good luck in that game, and I hope to have a good showing from you guys that game. GME are looking just a little bit strong, so hopefully you guys can put them in their place and show the Dab Nation spirit, I guess. But other than that, congratulations on your win, and we'll see you guys next time. What's up?
Well, Dab.
What's up?
How are we gonna leave, but we're not gonna talk about that Thresh 1 HP play?
There's not.
We already talked about it.
We already heard from the last.
That was
to
a
the
miracle.
Man. Talk to the man.
Thank you
Hold
guys
on.
very much for the interview. Thank you.
No,
Guys.
no.
Thank you guys. We're
Hold
just
on.
gonna be moving him out here.
Rocket, how does it feel to live with 1 HP? What
Oh,
was
I
that
was
like?
just panicking and screaming the whole
I have a
time.
question.
No,
feel
you don't
like
understand.
Wait a minute. You're not doing the interview here.
Let me ask you, did you feel like
Oh,
did
no,
you
it's
feel like
like the
Icarus
reverse
close
Uno
to the
card, huh?
sun? Did you feel like
reverse
Icarus
Uno
burning up
card.
by the sun?
Oh yeah, I was really close, and then actually no, it wasn't me. It was them. They were
your
trying
wings
to.
get
They're
clipped?
going too close to me, and I just burned them up with their wax wings. You know what I'm saying?
Also, my one death, I just wanted to give Matt a kiss.
That's respectable.
But
we
like
saw you
unfortunately,
pregame wanting to give the enemy team a kiss, but Bri didn't seem to want him too much.
I didn't really give him a kiss. I gave him like a running slap on the behind, first blood. That's why I had to like run back and then I flash, rather than just, playing like a smart person and just running and hitting him. I actually gave like a little charge up,
Yeah,
that little sussy baka needed the charge. He needed a little charge,
All
It
right,
happens.
After Crib commandeered our post game, we'll be going ahead and letting you guys go.
I gave him
Good
2
luck.
slaps because of his passive too.
Oh my lord.
Giving them the little goodbye notice as they are going to be kicked out of here. Good luck on your next couple games, and we are looking forward to seeing you guys throughout the rest of the KDL season 5.
Wait, can I ask you one question, Stu?
What's
Well,
up?
Dab.
How many MVPs do you have?
At least one.
No, you don't.
I
don't think
do.
you have any.
Wait, what? There's no way to check.
Dude,
we
I
don't have
got
the stats from
KDL
last
finals.
season.
No, the
from
stats
last
are not
season.
saved.
No,
Oh
no,
my
no,
god.
Dude, I
Stu
got
has at
MVP
least one.
last
Stop the
season.
cap. Stu at least got one.
I got 2 last season, I'm
Alright,
pretty sure.
We'll see. All right, that's enough at this interview, though. This interview is
Oh,
done.
wait, you're ending the interview. You're not even
Yeah,
streaming.
Alright,
All
get
right,
out
Krim
of
is
here.
being
Get out of
Krim
here.
has been moved out, bro. Krim has been moved out of here. I can't believe
Get
we got
outta
hijacked
here.
like this.
Alright, you did have a little bit of a spicy post-game interview. Not usually how those ones go. I think most people tend to get a little bit on the snoozy side for interviews, but that one's a little bit more exciting as we'll see in this game come to a close, and we'll be seeing, our next couple games still being scheduled, but I think our next scheduled game will be GME versus Worldlanders at Thursday at 10. So if nothing else, we'll see you guys then. Other than that, make sure to join the Discord if you want to talk to the players, see what's going on with the games, see when the scheduling is happening. And other than that, thanks you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.